What is going on, FA Nation? Jonathan Pemba here with Howard Bender. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook Preview Show. Today, we're taking a look at the 5-game early slate over on DraftKings. We'll be back live at 4 p.m. Eastern Time to take a look at the 10-game main slate, but with some day baseball on tap. Howard and I are here to break it all down for you. Sir, how are we doing today?
We're doing great. Absolutely. Very interesting 5-game early slate here. Couple of pitchers I like, a couple of plays I don't like, but above all, and if you guys have followed me in the Fantasy Alarm, best bets articles, I hate banking on daytime baseball. Daytime baseball is a cruel, cruel creature to me. I will do my best to get through it here, and thank you all for being here. Hit that like and subscribe button and make us feel all warm and fuzzy inside. But let's talk about the slate here, John. We're obviously Scooble Reagan's at the top. They're not potent offenses. I think the game hasn't gone on Tuesday yet, but I took the under. Even with lesser pitchers on the slate here, I can't imagine we're going to be seeing much offense against either one of these two starters.
Yeah, obviously these are two of the better pitchers on these two teams. Skubal obviously leading, Detroit leading the pricing here at 10-5. Reagan, some elite strikeout numbers, an upside for him as well at 9-7. We've talked about it on smaller slates. In certain occasions, it's actually okay to pitch pitchers against one another if you think they're gonna produce the highest output. One of them hopefully gets the win. It's a low-scoring, high strikeout performance from both starters. And you get the elite pitching production here. If you had to lean Scooble or Reagan's here, which one would you go with?
Oh, I got to lean Scooble. Absolutely. He's such a talented pitcher. It's like, I think he's one of those guys who transcends matchups. And listen, I like Reagan's. I think he's in a really good spot here, but I would if I'm spending up for the top pitcher, I'm spending up for the top pitcher.
Yeah, transcending matchups for sure. Arizona Diamondbacks in Arizona last time out held them to one hit of shutout baseball. They're only 74 pitches. I wonder if there was a reason that he only went 74. That's kind of odd for him, who's routinely up over 90. 13-0. That would be why. The score had a lot to do with it, probably why he got lifted there. But Arizona, a top 3 offense in baseball against lefties, no problems for Tarek Skubal there. If we work our way down into the mid-tier, John Means against St. Louis. Means looking pretty good. I didn't want to drop the pun there, Means looking mean, but he's been pretty good at $8,200. Tristan McKenzie has pitched pretty well for Cleveland. He's got the New York Mets here. Thoughts on the mid-range of pitchers on this small slate?
Not a lot of thoughts on him. I mean, listen, St. Louis has been a tough team to kind of peg down. They're hitting the ball fairly well over the last couple of games, but is that because they've been facing some soft pitching here? So I don't mind John Means. I know that he got roughed up a little bit, but he's still working his way back. And this is it's just not a formidable lineup overall, and doesn't hit left-handed pitching very well. They are loaded with a ton of lefties. So Means for me is probably the way to go there. And then if I'm looking further down, Gross. Nothing.
I mean, yeah, there's Simeon Woods Richardson. I don't like going up against Washington.
Minnesota. Right. I mean, yeah, you're right. You're going up against Washington with the counts and everything. 100%.
Yeah, exactly. I don't love going up against them. They don't strike out a ton. They put a lot of balls in play. We saw them hammer Lopez the other night. Now, today, as we're recording, a little bit of a different story, being shut down. Joe Ryan out there, 6 shutout at the moment. They're up 8-0. Patrick Corbin having a Patrick Corbin day. We didn't get that on the main slate to take advantage of, unfortunately, but we do have Simeon Woods Richardson here. Some good performances, some not so great performances, but probably some win equity built in, knowing Minnesota's offense is behind him here. They're going up against Jake Irvin, who's been okay, nothing special. So maybe Simeon Woods Richardson is where I would take a look. Hunter Brown, the kid's talented, but is he broken still? Like, I don't know, 6,500. Again, another guy that maybe has some win equity because of the offense. behind him, but I mean, you look good against Detroit, you look bad against Milwaukee. How do you what do you get a read here on this spot?
Listen, I don't hate the matchup here, against the Angels. I don't think they've got a strong lineup. I'd be more worried if he were a lefty going up against the Angels. So, listen, the problem is that there's no consistency at all. We thought that he was turning it around and then he got beaten up. Granted, I like Milwaukee and they got a ton of lefty bats, but I don't know, man. I mean, I guess on a slate this small, I guess I wouldn't totally hate it.
Okay.
It probably wouldn't be my go-to spot there.
Sure.
I got to tell you, Jose Quintana against Cleveland. I mean, Quintana in his last start was surprisingly good.
Yeah, given the matchup against Philly, we expected obviously more production out of the Phillies there. 5 1/3, 2 earned, gave 4 strikeouts. Had he gotten the win, if you're looking at like 17 fantasy points, he's only $5,300. Yeah, Cleveland's offense obviously isn't a powerhouse by any stretch of the imagination there. Some of their better bats hit from the left side of the plate. I think Josh Naylor. Obviously, Ramirez is a switch hitter there. So, yeah, maybe if you wanted to punt, you could take a look at Quintana there. But for a small slate, sometimes you run into this, some pretty tough value. Moving on over to the catcher position here. Obviously, you have some lefties on the mound, so there are some matchups we could look to take advantage of. Yainer Diaz against Anderson at $3,900. Ivan Herrera, someone that you and I have taken a liking to when in the lineup. He's got John Means at $3,500 there. So a couple of mid-tier options maybe you could take a peek at.
Yeah. A couple of mid-tier options you could take a peek at. I also wouldn't mind. I mean, you see what happens because it's a day game following the night game. Maybe James McCann gets the start behind the plate going up against Kyle Gibson. Who is Kyle Gibson?
Sure.
The 2,800. I feel like that's a direction I wouldn't mind hanging in. Or Christian Vasquez, 2,500 going up against Jake Irvin. I think that's a decent spot as well. I'd probably do both of them before I punted all the way down to the Mets catchers.
Yeah, works for me. First base, then obviously Scooble's there, so you're not going to be taking a look at Perez. You got the lefty for Naylor at 53. Small slate. Sometimes you get some tough positions here. Looking at first base, do you have a go-to here today?
No, I don't really think I have a go-to. I'll use Pete Alonso if I can pay up for it. Absolutely. Some interesting options here. You could go Ryan O'Hearn, the lefty against Gibson. I think that's unless of course you believe in Kyle Gibson and the revenge game narrative, right? I don't know. Maybe you do. I personally don't. So I do think that O'Hearn becomes an interesting option there. Carlos Santana has been hitting the ball fairly well recently. So I actually, I don't mind paying down if I'm going to go over in that area.
Yeah, Santana tonight, 2 for 3 with a double and RBI. So, $3,800, got a switch hitter there. Certainly fine. I'm always partial to these Minnesota Twins anyways. They're up 10-0 now on the Nationals at the time of this recording. Our boy Willie Castro with a home run there, Howard. So
Willie Castro, it's about time he hit a home run. That dude's been garbage for the past week, dude. Yeah. Terrible.
He's staying alive. Second base. Get Houston versus lefty here. So I think there's some obvious plays we'll talk about as we move along positionally, but Altuve at $5,600. Baltimore against Gibson will be a popular stack.
Yep.
What else are you looking at as we work our way down second base?
Edouard Julien going up against Jake Irvin. I think there's good home run potential.
Sure.
Over there. So I would look at that. You could pay down and go with Mateo if you didn't want to go all the way up to Westburg. He might get a little something there. Nolan Gorman. If you're not buying into, well, that's lefty actually. So
yeah, both their infielders are all left. Donovan's a lefty. Gorman.
Everybody's a lefty on that team, isn't it? Like Burleson's a lefty. Donovan's a lefty.
Nootbaar's a lefty.
That's a very lefty heavy lineup there. That might make Means a little bit more attractive.
Sure. Not much else working your way down. We'll have to see if there's, when lineups come out for the early slate, maybe you take a look at like a Jeff McNeil for a punt play or something
Throw me like
that.
a Kyle Farmer, right?
Yeah, Farmer could be out there. They're $2,500. I know we got some questions on Colt Keith during the 4 p.m. stream on Monday, starting to come around a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see what the lineups look like there. At third base, again, Jose Ramirez, $5,900. Our guy, Luis Renifo, homered tonight off a righty in Christian Javier. So, if you got a hot bat, you got a hot bat. Nothing more you can say about that. Thoughts
Bregman
on the here?
at a good price at 43, I think, especially with the way he's hitting.
Yeah, I like that call for sure. Let's see. Is there any value down here?
Juan Miranda went yard, I think, in this game here. Well, everybody's gone yard in this game for the Twins. So, maybe Miranda is a possibility. Other than that, is Vientos up? Still
seems like he might still be up. The last time he played was the 18th. The no notes on him being sent down, so he might just be.
Well, there you go.
Let's see. Is he in today's game? Let's see. Vientos. It did play. Ooh, look at this. Homer today. 2 for 4. Homer and RBI, 2 runs. Can't sit him on a hot streak, right?
Can't sit him on a hot streak. What a great bargain at 2,800. Use him at first or third.
Yep, I like that. McNeil also homer, by the way. Homer, 2 RBIs, 2 hits. Maybe the Mets offense sneaking around here a little bit. So a couple of value plays there at third base. Over at shortstop, Bobby Witt. I know you said you took the under, Howard. Bobby Witt's gonna make sure that's not coming through. Already a homer, 4 RBIs. Royals on a route, 6-0 through 3.
Yeah, but you know what? It's still under 9. They don't have to score anymore, do they?
That's fair. That is fair.
Maybe, we have changed pitchers, so now I'm all in on Alec Marsh. I got a couple of prop bets on Alec Marsh, so I'm still locked into this one here.
There you go. So Bobby Witt's there. Obviously, Gunnar Henderson's been absurd. We'll see how he performs here on Tuesday. But you got him against Gibson, Abrams. I mean, you know what? Shortstop's kind of loaded here. Pena against Anderson. Top 4 guys. I think you can just plug and play any one of them.
Shortstop's always loaded here. It really is. So, you can plug and play any of the top 3. Like you said, Pena is definitely involved there. If you want to pay down, Zach Neto against Hunter Brown. Sure. So Brian Rocchio had a big outing here today. That was a nice one for him. So maybe he shines a little bright if you're looking for a bargain. But I don't think we need to really look further down there at shortstop. I think we know where we want to go.
No Javier Baez for you, Howard?
No Javier Baez. Can't do it. Don't want it. Don't need it. Couldn't afford it if I did.
Cover boy of the Tuesday playbook was Kyle Tucker. He homered in the first inning here tonight. And Jordan went back-to-back with him. So now these are lefty-lefty matchups. Both of these guys actually hit lefties pretty well. So if you wanted to spend up, you got the 2 Houston guys right there. Again, obviously small slate, depth and value dumped down pretty quickly. What are your thoughts on the remaining top outfielders here?
I'll look at like Taylor Ward. I think he's perfectly fine to use in this spot here. I know that the Twins hit lefties better than righties, but we do love our Twins lefty bats. Max Kepler, Byron Buxton, going to be involved there. I do also like Brandon Nimmo against Tristan McKenzie.
Sure.
I think that's a decent spot as well for like your mid 4K tier.
Yeah. Buxton hits from the right side, but had 2 homers today, Howard. So back and being productive at the plate. Definitely think if you're going to stack Minnesota, you might as well include Buxton in that lineup stack. $4,500. You mentioned obviously going down guys like Kowser. I know he's coming down a little bit. Willie Castro actually outfield only now, Howard. He had the infield eligibility there for a little bit. Chas McCormick's guy that's hit some lefties during his time. JD Martinez at 4K is pretty good, hitting up over 300. You can utilize him as a value play in the middle of that Mets lineup. I know we've talked a couple of Mets with Vientos and Alonso and McNeil, and
sure.
JD certainly would fit a lineup build at 4K.
Jesse Winker getting back on track, going up against Woods Richardson. That's a possible spell down there. How about Joe Adell going up against Hunter Brown?
Yeah, I don't mind that. Joe Adell at the dish right now. We'll see if he can get anything done against Christian Javier. Adell $3,600 feels pretty good. Let's see. I guess we'll see like who else is in the lineup. Jake Myers has an over 300 ISO against left-handed pitching this season. Not really hitting for any average against them, but all power. He's $3,300. We could see Dubon in the lineup. He's been playing for Houston semi-regularly of late. Got him at $3,200 against Anderson. Not a ton more value though, outside of some, getting some official lineups here. Anybody that you're seeing that you're looking to plug in?
No, I don't really see anybody this far down there. I mean, we've, no.
Let's get a lineup build down.
It's going to be a tough lineup to build, dude.
Let's see where we go. You're in on Scooble, you said, right?
I'm in on Scooble.
Okay. I think that almost forces us into like Hunter Brown or Simeon Wood Richardson.
Do we really want to go that far down then?
I mean, if we don't,
I guess we kind of have to.
I don't know what else we would pitch. It'd be like John Means, right? And then that gives us 4K a play. It's doable. We did talk a lot of value.
Let's try with the value. Let's see what we can do, because I don't necessarily want to jump all the way down like that.
Okay. Well, we'll just punt. We'll go Christian Vasquez then at catcher. We'll just punt our catcher position.
That'll work.
4,100 a play here.
First base, we could go down to Carlos Santana.
Sure. And we had Vientos at third or first.
Oh, yeah. So put him at the hot corner there.
Okay. So Santana, Vientos at third.
44.40 per player now. Now we're talking here, Johnny.
We are talking. Can we fit Altuve? Altuve's 41. If you had to spend up for Gunnar or Altuve, which one would you pick?
I think I'd go Gunnar.
Okay.
That's it's a tough spot, but I'd rather have that.
All right, second base then. 4K a play. I mean, there is McNeil, 3,100. He's hitting next to Vientos in the lineup.
All right, do it. All right. Boom.
All right, so 4,300 for three outfielders.
Jeez, let's go Mets, huh? What are we doing?
I don't like it as much as you do here.
I don't like it at all, but
JD
you got to do what you got to do
as well. 4,500. Let's see.
What about it? What if you go down to Jake Myers? Does that let you get Kyle Tucker in?
Close. 5,700. Let's get Yordan.
Really? It won't let us
We could go down to see 27. Was there cheaper? There was. Let's get off JD then. Let's get Tucker in. Let's go Myers. That gives us a $3,400 outfielder. Need Dubon if he's in the lineup.
Could do Dubon if he's in the lineup. That's for sure.
Eddie Rosario. Hitting the ball pretty well still.
Yeah, he has been hitting the ball pretty well, actually.
Right, we're not using Simeon Woods Richardson, so why not?
Right. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else that's kind of further down that's intriguing, but no, there really isn't.
There really just isn't, Howard.
There isn't. All right. So what happens if we go with who did you just say?
Rosario. And that's if we double spend at pitching. Obviously, if we dropped down, like Hunter Brown gives us another $1,700 to play with.
Yeah, but then you got to hope that Hunter Brown doesn't suck.
I agree. But the majority of the field is feeling that same way. So, all right. Example lineup for everybody here. Tarek Skubal, John Means, Christian Vasquez, Carlos Santana, Jeff McNeil, Mark Vientos, Gunnar Henderson, Jake Myers, Eddie Rosario, Kyle Tucker. It's 5 games, people. It's not going to be pretty if you're spending up for 10-5 starting pitcher. Maybe that makes Skubal probably a little contrarian. Maybe not, but we'll see. One of the two, Will Reagans or Skubal, most likely. So Good luck with your lineup builds. Get your questions into us on the Discord. Find us on Twitter as well. Again, we'll be back live at 4 p.m. Eastern time to break down the main slate. Henry Wilson will have your main slate playbook ready to go. Until then, everybody, good luck, and we'll catch you all later.